You're watching true crime coverage with Angela-Renee. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's me, Angela-Renee, and today I'll be discussing the rise, fall, and escape of former auto industry leader Carlos Ghosn. This story is about money, power, and greed. Ghosn was the crown jewel of Japan's economy, the auto industry. Ghosn was born in Brazil to Lebanese immigrants. When he was a toddler, he and his family moved to Beirut. Ghosn went to elite schools in Paris and studied engineering at an elite university. After completing his academic career, Ghosn was hired by Michelin, the tire company. When Ghosn started at Michelin, he started working on the factory floor, but rather quickly, his talent was noticed and he was propelled upward in ranks by becoming the CEO of Michelin's North American division. He worked at Michelin for 18 years. While at Michelin, Ghosn realized it was a family company, and he thought, I'm never going to get that far in this company. So he took a job at Renault, which is a French car manufacturer company. Renault was recovering from a devastating merger with Volvo. Ghosn came on the scene, and his approach was to cut costs at all costs and trim the fat. While at Renault, Ghosn earned the name Le Cost Cutter. Renault bought a very large stake in Nissan in 1999. At that time, the Japanese company was on the verge of going into bankruptcy. Nissan had car models that nobody really wanted to buy, and they were lagging behind Toyota and Honda. Since Ghosn was so successful at helping to turn around Renault, Nissan thought Ghosn could do the same for their company. So they sent him to Japan as Chief Operating Officer in 1999. Bob Lutz, who was then the vice chairman of General Motors, famously said that Renault would be better taking $5 billion, putting it on a barge, and then sinking it into the middle of the ocean. That's how bad things were. And here comes Ghosn, savior of failing companies. So guys, it was a big deal for the Japanese car company to turn to a non-Japanese leader. The fact that Nissan was on the brim of bankruptcy and the only resolution they could see was to sell a large stake to a foreign company and then have a foreign executive come and take over leadership shows the desperation of the company. So guys, Ghosn came in and he started trimming the fat at Nissan. I mean, Ghosn wasn't called Le Cost Cutter for nothing. Ghosn looked at the structure of the company, which was very similar to a lot of Japanese companies. Most Japanese companies offered lifetime employment. Ghosn had different ideas. He saw the Japanese model of lifelong employment as a bloated workforce, so he decreased it by 14%. In the end, approximately 21,000 people lost their jobs, but Ghosn improved Nissan's product lines. Moreover, under Ghosn's leadership, Nissan became the second largest car company, behind Toyota. He also got them to 100 million sales in the United States. The stock market value of the company quadrupled within a couple of years. Ghosn was promoted to CEO by 2001, and then his reputation started to take off. Ghosn was a hero to the Japanese people. I mean, there was a whole manga about his life. I'm sure at the time, all the Japanese businessmen were reading it on their train ride home. Not only that, he wrote a memoir about Nissan's turnaround, and it becomes a bestseller. The emperor gave him a medal, and he was the first foreign business executive to win it. Nissan bought properties for him to use in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, in Paris, France, in Beirut, Lebanon, and in Amsterdam in Holland. You would think that after attaining so much, Ghosn would be happy. But it turns out that he was still quite unhappy. In Ghosn's mind, compared to his peers in the international auto industry, he was not paid well. Ghosn was making approximately $16.9 million at Nissan, but that was much less than the $21 million and change of, say, Mary Barra at General Motors. In 2008, Japanese law began to require that companies disclose directors' pay in their annual report. That year, Nissan shareholders voted to set an annual cap of about $27 million on compensation for all board directors combined. If Carlos Ghosn wanted to make sure that he got top pay, that meant there would be very little left over for all the other directors on the board. In November 2018, Carlos Ghosn was arrested over allegations by Nissan that he had understated his annual salary and misused company funds. So guys, the allegation is that he hid about half of his pay. He figured out a way to pay himself basically double what they were reporting to the securities agencies. Let's see and hear what Ghosn had to say about Nissan's allegations.
If you are listening to me through this video today, it means that I was not able to make the press conference that I planned for April the 11th. But I wanted to tell you the essence of the message that I wanted to develop on April the 11th and hopefully answer so many questions that I'm sure you have on your mind. The first message is I'm innocent. It's not new. You have heard it from me in January. I repeat it today. I'm innocent of all the charges that have been brought against me. And I'm also innocent of all the accusation that came around these charges that are all biased, taken out of context, twisted in a way to paint a personage of greed and a personage of dictatorship. So, but let's talk about the charges. The FIEL, the contract with Shinsei Bank, and the compensation we paid to Jufali, I remain on the same position. I spent 108 days in prison because I've been always consistent with this position that I was innocent of all the charges. The second message I want to send you is the fact that I love Japan and I love Nissan. Nobody spends 20 years in a country. Nobody works 20 years in the leadership of a company without love and without attachment and without engagement, particularly when these years have been marked by so many accomplishments and so much result. I came to Japan in 1999, not by calculation. I came to Japan in 1999 because I was fascinated with the country and I was fascinated by the challenge of reviving Nissan. And you know very well that I committed since the beginning all my career to the success of the Nissan revival plan. And thanks to the hard work of the hundreds of thousands people working in Nissan, and particularly the Japanese people working in Nissan, we have been successful. So my love for Japan and my love for Nissan is untainted today. After all the ordeal I've been through, I want you to know that. I want you to be convinced of that. We've done many things in Nissan I'm proud of. We have also contributed to the economy of Japan, to the development, to the development of the management in Japan. All of these things will remain as great memories and great achievement that I'm sure after all the last months, in a certain way, people will look at them with more fairness and more objectivity. The third point I want to tell you that this is a conspiracy. This is not about specific events. This is not about, again, greed. This is not about dictatorship. This is about a plot. This is about conspiracies. This is about backstabbing. That's what we're talking about. And why? So you can say, why this happened? Why it happened? Because there was first a fear that the next step of the alliance in terms of convergence and in terms of moving toward the merger would in a certain way threaten some people or eventually threaten the autonomy of Nissan, which, by the way, has never been threatened for the last 19 years when the alliance was created I've been the fiercest defender of the autonomy of Nissan, and I made it very clear that no matter what are the steps in the future, this would continue. But this autonomy must be based on performance. Nobody get autonomy for the sake of autonomy. People get autonomy because they can be more performant with autonomy, and that was where the fear came. Because the performance of Nissan is not good. It has degraded a lot. 3 profit warning in a couple of years, many scandals. Not the fact that bad things happen at the level of the company, but the fact that when you react to the bad things happening in your company, you must be trusted. And in this case, in many cases, it could not be trusted because the company said problems were fixed where they were not fixed. This is where we had a problem with the actual management of the company. So these people are known. That means we're not talking about, I have a lot of respect for Nissan employees. I'm talking here about a few executives who obviously for their own interest and for their own selfish fears are creating a lot of value destruction. Names, you know them. We're talking about people who really played a very dirty game into what's happening. But hopefully,
for more than a year, Ghosn spent long periods in custody or was held under house arrest in Tokyo after being bailed. At the time, it was not clear when a trial would take place. The fear was it could take years, and Ghosn faced a further 15 years in prison if he was convicted, in a country which has a 99.4 conviction rate. It was during a period of house arrest when Ghosn was told that he would not be allowed to have any contact with his wife, Carol. That's when he decided to find a way out. From Tokyo, Ghosn traveled by bullet train to Osaka in a musical equipment box where a private jet was waiting at the local airport to depart. Ghosn was transported from the hotel to the airport by 2 men who were posing as musicians. Let's see and hear what Ghosn has to say about his escape.
Could not show my face, so I have to be hidden somewhere. And the only way I could be hidden is to be in a box or be in a luggage. So nobody could see me, nobody could recognize me, and obviously the plan could work. Before joining the box, I needed not to be detected because, as you know, I departed from an airport outside from Tokyo, but I have to go there. So we used a train and we used taxis. So I had to wear things that I never usually wear. And you know, the plane was scheduled to take off at 11 p.m. that night. We were ready, and I was in the box in the rear of the plane probably around 10:30. And these 30 minutes waiting in the box in the plane, waiting for the plane to take off, were probably the longest period of wait I've ever experienced in my life.
So guys, Ghosn flew in through the night and swapped planes in Turkey before landing in Beirut the next morning. Lebanon does not have an extradition treaty with Japan, so Ghosn has been allowed to remain there. So guys, I want to hear your thoughts about this case, so leave a comment down below. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. It's a free way to show support to my channel. And don't forget to tap that notification bell, so that way you'll get alerts and you'll know when I upload.
Bye-bye.